Okay. Welcome, everybody. It is awesome to have you. Before we jump in, I want to take a quick second to tell you why Get Chosen Live exists. Okay, so many talented people never get chosen. You may have real expertise, experience, and a story to tell, but only a small inner circle knows who you are. At Brand Managers, we help business leaders, consultants, and founders turn their ideas and experiences into consistent authority. We do this through podcasting, video, live stream events like this, webinars, and strategic LinkedIn systems. If you're great at what you do, but you're still flying under the radar, that's what we fix. All right, now let me introduce this show and why we do it, okay? And let me tell you how it works. This is a live TED-style conversation. Gordon is going to start by teaching and sharing his perspective on today's topic. Excuse me. And we're going to listen together. And then Gordon and I will have a conversation. You'll have the chance to ask questions in chat. We're live on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook right now. So if you're listening on any of those platforms, type your question in the chat and I will share it with Gordon. Okay, so I'm super excited to introduce Gordon Tredgold. Gordon is a leadership expert, international speaker, and author who has worked with organizations around the world on performance, execution, and results. He's best known for his work on simplifying leadership, helping teams focus on what actually moves the needle, and turning big ideas into real-world impact. Excuse me again. He's also someone who understands what it takes to stand out in competitive environments, whether that's business leadership or global stages like TED. Today, Gordon is going to walk us through what it really takes to get chosen for opportunities like TED Talk, and more importantly, how you position yourself so decision makers see you as the obvious choice. If you've ever wanted to elevate your platform, your voice, your influence, you're in the right place. Gordon, welcome to Get Chosen Live.
Thank you for having me. Happy to be here. Excited.
It's awesome to have you. I'm so excited for what we're going to talk about today. I'm not going to waste a whole lot of time, so I'm just going to let you jump in. Why don't you share your screen with us?
Okay.
We're all excited to hear what you have to say about how to get chosen on a TED Talk.
So before we do that, I just want to share that, when I was trying to differentiate myself and, improve my positioning in leadership, I thought, what a good idea it would be to speak with TED. A global brand. It gives you instant credibility and authority. And I thought, okay, I want to speak at TED events. So I started by sending my details off to TED. Crickets.
Yeah.
And then about 6 months later, I thought, okay, let's stop just randomly distributing, effectively fire and forget cold pitching. Let's break down what we need to do in order to land a TED Talk. So, I am a leadership expert, but I'm also a mathematician. One of the things I'm really good at is problem solving. So I attacked it like a problem. And what I'm going to share with you is the approach that not only did it help me land a TED Talk, but I was awarded the talk within 42 hours of starting this approach. And not only that, but I've trained and taught it to several other people, and all of them have been able to land a TED Talk within 2 to 3 weeks of using this process. So I know
you've got 100% success rate.
Yeah, maybe that's because I only taught it to 4 people and they all did it. If I went to 5,
it's my assumption that it's very difficult to get on a TED Talk. So having 4 people use your methods and be successful is pretty impressive.
Yeah, and I haven't really shared it with that many more people. I was going to, but I just got, I focused more on leadership. But because we wanted to do the first episode of getting chosen for TED just seemed like a good thing. So I'm just going to dive right in. Let me share the presentation. So the first thing I did was in order to land a TED Talk, the first thing I wanted to do was, because it's massively competitive, I wanted to know why people got rejected. What were the top 5 reasons, top 10 reasons for getting rejected? And then what I was going to do was avoid those reasons to try and put myself into the small group of people that had a chance to do it. So the top 5 reasons for why people get rejected, it's bad timing. You've applied too early or too late. The second one is that the TED Talk, your talk is not relevant to the TED theme. The third one was it was just a standard pitch. There was nothing special. It was just a cold outreach and got rejected. The fourth reason was the talk didn't resonate with the organizer. And then the last one, it was just a standard talk. It was the talk that you've given a dozen times and it just didn't make them feel special that you wanted to come and give that talk for the 50th time on their platform. So I thought, okay, if those are the things that I shouldn't do, what I need to do is to figure out what is the right timing. And what you can do is you can actually go and find where all of the TED Talks are using the TED Talk platform. And when I looked about them, a lot of the talks, they repeat every 12 months. So the one I got was TEDx Belfort, and it was in its 5th year. And when you look at it, if you apply with 3 months to go, they're already marketing it. They're already full with speakers. So you're knocking on a door that's closed with no opportunity. And they're not going to consider you for next year. They might say, oh, we will, but they're tied up with this year, so you're just forgotten. You could apply 3 to 6 months out, but if 100 people apply to speak at a TED event, if you apply 3 to 6 months out, there might only be 1 or 2 slots left open. Now you're one of, let's say they've got 10 slots and they've had 100 applicants. If you apply when there's only 2 slots available, you're now one of 92 people applying for 2 slots. So your odds of getting through that are lower. If you apply 12 months before, they're currently dealing with the current talk, so they're not going to have any time for you. So the sweet spot is to look and pitch TED Talks that are going to be 7 to 9 months out. Because then when you're applying, there's probably all 10, and the one I spoke at had 12 slots. All 12 or 10 slots are going to be open. So if there's 100 people, now you've got a 10 to 1 chance of landing it.
Yeah.
As opposed to a 90 to 1 chance when there's 1 slot left and they've got 90 applications. So we want to be pitching 7 to 9 months out. That is the sweet spot. So how do we find the TED Talks? You just go on the TED website, TEDx website. You go to the events and you can see here that I've put in October 2026. That's 9-10 months out. 9 months out. So that's at the limit of the 7 to 9 month period. So you put that in, and then that comes and that gives you a list of the TED Talks. And what we want to be doing is we want to make sure that the TED Talk is relevant to us. There's a lot of TED women. If you're not a woman, don't apply to speak at a TED woman. If it's a TED youth, don't apply to speak at a TED youth. That's just a waste of an application. And you want to then go and look at what the theme is for the TED Talk. I wanted to do one in Antwerp because my wife's Belgian. But that particular talk, they were only interested in having people do talks who were from Antwerp and who were talking about Antwerp. Well, I'm not from Antwerp and I had nothing to say. So pitching that talk, zero chance of doing it. So you want to go through and you want to find a talk that's a fit with you. And I've ringed this one here for Atlanta, TEDx Atlanta. And when you click on that, it will tell you who the organizer is. Now, for all of them, for the majority of them, it will tell you the organizer. Not all of them will have an organizer bio. But what you want to do is, if it tells you the organizer's name, if it's TEDx San Francisco, you know probably where they're going to be best. Now you can go onto LinkedIn and start to research them if you don't have a bio. Because what we want to do is we want to connect to them in a way that is going to resonate with them. We often say that people buy from those they know, like, and trust.
Exactly
When we
right.
resonate with people, they feel not that they like us, they feel that we are like them,
Mm-hmm.
which means they know us and they trust us and they like us. So resonance kills the know, like, trust almost with, one bullet hitting 3 birds. So we want to make it resonant. And what we can see here is that, Jackie Chu, she talks about ideas worth spreading, and she likes to translate complex ideas into stories that move people to act. So when we are pitching her, we should pitch her with a talk which explains something complex in a simple story in a way that moves people to act. And even if you're not sure that your talk will do that, you can still tell her, oh, by the way, I'm going to talk about how we split the atom, and I'm going to do it in a way that makes it into a simple story that will make people act, because that's what she wants to hear. Tell them
Gotcha.
what they want to hear in the way they did it. So that's how you make we're now looking 6 to 9 months out. We've found an event, we've found the organizer, and now we are going to pitch the organizer in language and themes that resonates with them. So for my talk, I wrote to TEDx Belfort. That was one that was coming up. I pitched it in April, and I spoke in November the 9th. And this was Christian Arbez, and he talks about, there's even a section on some of them, what he's passionate about. So if you're going to resonate with somebody, what they're passionate about, that is the sweet spot. And it would be good to say, I'm passionate about what you're passionate about, and I'd like to talk on that topic.
Right.
Because it's going to resonate. So this was Christian. I appreciate that small font. So I blew up what he was passionate about. And he's passionate about innovation and entrepreneurship. I'm fascinated by people who can achieve great goals with limited resources and people who go above and beyond their limits. And the theme of the talk, and it's always good to try and get the theme of the talk if they've got it. Not every talk knows the theme until after they've got the speakers, but he knew his, and it was going to be about how to turn the impossible into the possible. So I thought, okay, I want to do a talk that inspires people to go beyond their limits and help them achieve the impossible. So I'm leveraging his passion. I'm tying his passion back to the theme. And I actually, when I spoke with him, I pitched him a talk on my 4 little secrets for your big success. So right in that sweet spot, if he could have chosen a talk, if he could have defined the ideal talk, I'm trying to give him exactly what he's looking for.
Right.
So and the other thing I would say is, do not use the mailbox on TED. Don't use a standard approach, because when you do that, if 90 people apply, you're in a pile of 90. So find them, reach out on LinkedIn, connect with them, and pitch them that way. Because now you're catching them off guard. And if you catch them
Yep.
off guard in a way that resonates with them, that's going to be a pattern interrupt. Because if you say something, hey, I'd love to speak at your TEDx event, they're going to go, yeah, great, here's our mailbox number, email your application.
Right.
But if you've connected in a way that resonates with them, you're going to get a pattern interrupt and they're going to go, oh, and now the door's open. So this is what I sent out to him. And there's an interesting thing here that I don't know whether you'll notice, but it had zero impact. So I just said, are you open to, are you still open for people to speak at TEDx Belfort? It's 9 months. It's 9 months of it. Of course they are. I'm a top 100 speaker. I love to speak at an event. I'll do a new talk. Now, I might have just repurposed the talk because you can still give an old talk. Just give it a new title so
Sure.
they don't know it's the same old talk you've been given. So I want to do a new talk. So I'm making him feel special. I'm creating this for you. And it's going to be about how to create engaged and empowered and excited teams that can change the world. Inspiring people is my passion, same passion as his. And I'm gonna give them simple, pragmatic tools they can use. And then I said I can do this talk in English or French because it was in France. I ended up doing the talk in France. I wish I'd just put English, but that's another point. But I've written a pitch that's talking to him in his language about the things he wants to hear. That's his response. And I wrote that at 1:06 a.m. 11:27 the same day. Hello, Gordon. Thank you for reaching out. Your proposal caught my attention. The fish
Now, hold on a second.
is on
Real
the
quick.
hook.
Are you saying, okay, so this was on LinkedIn that you
Yeah.
messaged this?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. All right. I wanted to make sure everybody understood that. Okay, so continue on with what he said.
So I wrote that, and then he wrote 11:37. So what's that? That's 10 hours later.
Yeah.
Hello, Gordon. Thank you for reaching out to me. Your proposal caught my attention. That's the fish with the hook in its mouth. However, I have a few questions. Could we have a phone call about your potential talk for TEDx Belfort? So within 10 hours of pitching him, where he's starting that process of thinking about next year's talk. It's 8 to 9 months out. I think it was 7 months out, if truth be told. He's now calling me up for a call. And the reason it took me 42 hours was because I was actually traveling that day and I had to speak to him a day later. And when I spoke to him a day later, he said to me, so tell me your idea for the talk. And I said, yeah, I want to do a talk on my little secrets for your big success. I want to help people convert the impossible into the possible. And we're going to do that with my 4 little secrets, which is aim high, start small, celebrate, and keep going. It's a process that works every time. And he said, fantastic. You will be my first speaker.
Wow.
So when I pitched him, there were 12 spots open. And we wouldn't have had the 100 people applying 7 to 8 months out. So I'm probably within a handful, maybe a dozen people who've approached him. He's got 12 spots open, and I'm hitting him with a talk that meets his passion, matches his theme, and resonates with him.
Yeah.
And we did that call, and he said, you're in. Thank you very much. Come on down. So
it's brilliant.
So the approach, pitch 7 to 9 months out, when they are starting to think about it, pick an event that's relevant to you and for which you are relevant. You know, if you're a big butch bearded guy like Monty, don't be going for Kansas women TEDx. You're not gonna, even if you identify, you're probably not gonna get it. Don't pitch an old talk. That's like going up to a girlfriend and saying, hey, I want to get engaged. Here's the ring from my previous girlfriend. Is that okay? They want a new talk, make them feel special. Research
Yeah.
the organizer, learn their interests, and then pitch it in a way that resonates with them. And when I taught a lady to do this for TEDx New Jersey, and within 3 days, the woman wrote back to her and said, "Oh my God, I feel like I'm speaking to my twin." When it comes to resonating, when
Yeah.
somebody says, "I feel like I'm talking to my twin," that is a 100% resonance match. And
Exactly.
who is going to turn themselves down
Yeah.
for a talk?
Yeah. It's really brilliant.
8 months later, she spoke at TEDx New Jersey. And as I say,
Wow.
I've done it with other people, and they said the feedback they got back. So this is all about resonance. And when we resonate with people, we appear like them. We have the same passions, the same thoughts, the same ideas. And that makes it easy for them to know, like, and trust us and close the deal.
It's actually a brilliant strategy, and one that I think crosses into so many things,
Yeah.
and just anybody that's in sales and is meeting people for the first time, when you're going to just a live networking event, when you're on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I love the strategy that you see the organizer's profile, you read through it, you find what they're interested and passionate about, and you talk to them about that. Same thing on LinkedIn. Everybody has a profile. Find out what they're interested in
Yeah.
and what resonates with them. So
And we want to create pattern interrupts as well so that we get them
exactly.
out. Do you know what my standard opening is whenever I meet people?
What is it?
People say, "How are you?" And I say, "Short and fat."
Not
And the
anymore.
no,
You might
it,
still be short, but you're not fat.
I'm not as fat. And the number of people who say to me, and women, the number of women say, "Me too, me too." Now, when they say "me too," we have resonated. We have a connection.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all about resonance,
I love that.
If it
Okay.
does,
So,
if it doesn't resonate, you ain't getting chosen. Doesn't matter
uh,
how brilliant it is, you ain't getting chosen.
yeah, it's absolutely the truth. So let me ask you a few questions now about the
Mhm.
process. Um, Totally get it. Help me understand a little bit, and I'd love to hear what your experience was when you went on the TED Talk. But but first, I want to back up. The organizers.
Mhm.
Do you know how these organizers are chosen? Are they employees
No, so
of TED?
yeah, I know exactly how it is. Uh, it's kind of like a franchise model, and you could just.
Okay,
What part of Kansas do you live in?
I'm in Kansas City.
But what part?
You mean where is Kansas City in Kansas?
No. Do you like living Gold Hills or
Oh, I'm in
Happy Valley?
Olathe, the suburb of Kansas City called
Yeah.
Olathe.
So you could just say, "I want to do TEDx Olathe." And then if
Uh huh.
there's no TEDx within that region, then you stake that territory, and then they give you the stuff and you do it. It's unpaid. Then you go and find the venue, the sponsors. So
Interesting.
it's, people volunteer to do it. And it's
Okay.
great for them because I've met a couple of people that have done it, and I asked them, "Why did you do it?" And they said, "Because I wanted to speak at a TEDx event." And I went, "Okay." But I had to do it for 2 years because I didn't wanna speak at the first one because that looks too obvious. So I'll
Yeah.
organize it, and then I'll speak at the second one.
So you could be anybody
Yep,
to set up a TED Talk
yep.
in your area as long as there's no franchise.
And it needs to be approved by TEDx. And I did a second one in April of last year. The video came out in November because every video has to go to TED, and they go, this passes the quality mark or it doesn't. And if they don't like it, then you might have
Interesting.
spoken at a TED event, but it ain't a TED talk. So
Interesting.
it
Okay,
can
so
take
just
5
because you get it,
Yeah,
like if you flub it or you just are terrible, they aren't going to publish it.
correct. Just
Who
because
shows up at the TED events?
so when I did the one in Belfort, it was Belfort is a small French town. The nearest big city to Belfort is Zurich, so it's right in that northeast corner of France. Small village. I don't know, population maybe 50,000, something like that. And they made it, part of the community. So when we went there, you don't get paid to speak, but they provided us with accommodation, food, and then they got the local hairdresser to give us all haircuts and
Wow.
beautician day for the women. And I did ask, but they said we can't help you on that. It's too far gone. Um, and we had dinner with the mayor the day before, and they had 500 people from the community. The last one I did was with KL University of Leuven in Belgium, and the all of the people that were there, it was predominantly the students and the lecturers. So it was, you have to go out and advertise it, that sometimes they sell tickets to pay for the venue, those kind of things. But anybody can organize one. But the video, you pick the speakers, you set the theme, but all the videos have to go to TED for their approval.
Now, do they want the speakers to promote the event as well? Like, should you be going
No,
out and promoting
no,
that you're going to be on the
no,
stage?
they expect you to do that. And most people want to do that. Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
I'm speaking. It's all part of the speaker marketing. Hey, look, I'm not speaking till 7 months time, but hey, I'm already. I've been selected for this. So the
Yeah.
video of you speaking can help you land gigs, but the fact that you've been chosen to speak, that's all good marketing collateral. But no, they do all of the marketing, and they hire professional videographers and photographers, and you get great film footage and great photos.
Yeah, for sure. And I've seen your talk and the photos and stuff, and it's all
Yeah,
fantastic. So,
my talk was in French, which limits the size of audience
true.
some. But if you're going to go for a challenge, do it in a language that isn't your
Your
mother
second
tongue.
language.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, when you get the footage back, you're free to do whatever you want with it.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
it's on the TEDx website. That's really good. But you can
Yeah.
download it and upload to yours. And what I've done is I've done that, and I've given it to my video team, and they've just cut it into 60 to 90-second segments. The last one I did was thriving in chaos. How to thrive in chaos. So they've taken good 90-second sound bites and used that for marketing. And it's got
Nice.
all of the TED branding. So it looks professional. It's it comes with the TED seal of approval, because I said they approve everything. So it's
Yeah.
almost like a guarantee of quality.
Now, when you back to the process a little bit, when you it sounds like basically research where you would want to do your talk, find somebody who or find a TED talk that's near you.
Yeah.
You're
Or
responsible for getting there yourself. They don't
Yeah.
bring you in or anything, right?
No.
So find one that's near you, then find or look at the organizer,
Mm-hmm.
Learn what they're passionate about through their bio.
Clone yourself into them.
Yep. And let's say if it's got to be 7 to 9 months. Let's say there's only one available that's near me that I'm going to go to.
Yeah.
And I have somebody on the bio, but I don't want to speak about something that the person is passionate about. Let's say my talk is different.
Okay.
Does
So-
that mean I'm
so-
done?
So I'll tell you what I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about American football.
Yes.
And you want to talk on
Which I
marketing.
love that since you live in Spain.
And you want to talk about marketing.
Uh-huh.
You're a marketing guy.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you say, hey, I want to do a talk on how marketing has made American football from a local niche sport in North America into a global worldwide phenomenon. The 3 marketing lessons you can learn from the NFL.
Yes.
You're not talking about football. You're talking about what you want to talk about, but you're just taking the context of my passion.
Mhm.
And my passion could be playing the bassoon. And now you just have to try and tie it back to something like that. Go and find somebody and then just tie it in some way, shape, or form.
And I think that's part of the secret sauce, if you would, why what you're doing works. The resonance component of it. And sometimes you've got to be creative about resonating what you are passionate about to somebody who isn't passionate about that thing.
So I'll give you the example I always use. I've got to teach 12-year-old boys statistics and percentages. I can tell them that a loaf of bread is $12, $2, probably closer to 12 at this moment. And there's 20% off. What's the price of the loaf now? Or I could say LeBron shot 11 of 13 from the free throw line. What's his shooting percentage? He'll probably answer that before I finish the question.
Yeah.
If you ask him, what's, a price, a $3 loaf of bread's got 20% off, what's the price? I'm like, I don't know. And it's not, I don't know, it's, I don't care. I literally could not give a. But if we're talking about that, or what's Patrick Mahomes through 19 completions from 23. What's his passing percentage?
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. Because
Yeah.
you've made it relevant. The context, the concept is statistics and percentages. All you're doing is you're looking for a common context in which to frame the question to create some degree of interest.
I'll tell you what, I don't know about anybody who's watching this right now, but I came with the expectation of I'm going to learn a bunch of tips on how to get a TED Talk. And what it's evolving into is probably one of the most brilliant ways to establish a resonance with people in anything,
Yeah.
that should help anybody who's watching in business to not only sell something, but to lead. Is this something that you teach within your leadership courses?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Connecting with people. When I worked for a company called Henkel, I had a team of 350 in India. And my, with Accenture was the partner, we'd outsourced it. My Accenture team in India outperformed every other Accenture team for a client by 10 to 15%. And the reason for that was because I'm from Yorkshire, which is the home of cricket in England. And cricket is the number one sport in the world. And 1 billion Indians know how to play it. And I could buy a jersey or a bat signed by the equivalent of Patrick Mahomes for $50 in Yorkshire, go over to India and then offer that as a prize, and people would almost shoot each other for doing it. And when I would introduce people, I would say, "Who's your favourite Indian cricketer?" Mine's Sachin Tendulkar, the equivalent of Tom Brady in the cricket world. And we would talk about cricket.
Yeah.
Because that was a common love that we both had. Now they don't see me as, pale-faced leader coming over from Germany. I'm the guy that loves cricket like they do.
Yeah, exactly. It's brilliant.
And funny story, when I first went to India, I was there. We were a German company, and I was over there with 7 Germans. And I'd only been with the company about a month and a half. And we went to see the 3 providers, IBM, Accenture, and Hewlett-Packard. And we had a dinner, and we had a private room in the restaurant because we wanted to do a bit of business and talk about it. And while we were doing that, my peer, VP, she said to me, "You've only been with the company for a month, Gordon. Tell us about yourself. Tell us where you're from." I said, I'm from Yorkshire. And she said, "Okay, Yorkshire, tell me one person that's famous that came from Yorkshire." And I went, "What do you mean one person? How about Captain Cook, who found Australia? He was a Yorkshireman. And I'll tell you, there's another famous Yorkshireman, and you've heard of him." I said, "I'll tell you a famous Yorkshireman, and you haven't heard of him." He said, "Who's that?" I said, "Geoffrey Boycott." She said, "Geoffrey Boycott? Yeah. Who's he?" I went, "He's a famous Yorkshire cricketer. He was the top Yorkshire cricketer, and he's very famous." She said, "Nobody's heard of him." And I said, "Outside that door, there are 1 billion people who know who he is. Just because you don't know." And he was like John Madden, because he played in the 70s and 80s, and now he's the grumpy old commentator guy. He was as big as John Madden. And the waiter came in to clear our dishes, and she went, "Don't you say anything." I'm like, "Okay." And she went, "Excuse me, do you know who Geoffrey Boycott is?" And he went, "Famous Yorkshire cricketer." And she went round the whole of India for 3 days going, "Do you know who Geoffrey Boycott is? Famous Yorkshire cricketer. Famous Yorkshire cricketer." I was like, "Yeah." I wouldn't have used that to resonate with you, but
Right.
we have anytime and when I'm talking about performance, I tie it back to cricket. Guys, they've hit 150. We need 151 to win. How are we going to do that? Who's going to be my Tendulkar? It just resonates with them. It makes you one of them, and that's what resonate is. It's not about telling them something interesting. It's making them feel connected, and that we're part of the same. We're all part of the same team, same infrastructure, same beliefs, same values. And then when you do that, the connection is just solid.
Now, were you able to do that in your TED Talk? Is that one of your strategies when you are talking live?
So I'm always looking. Yeah. So for me, what I want to do is I want it to resonate. Now I can, when I speak to 500 people, I cannot touch on a passion for all of them. But what I do is I go back to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And everybody, in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the bottom levels are shelter, safety, food, heat, money. But as you move up the hierarchy, it's about a feeling of belonging, a sense of achievement, a sense of, what's it called? Evolution, that, we improve ourselves. So when I'm looking to try and connect, if I don't know we've got anything in common, I know that we both want to be successful.
Yeah.
So I talk about it in that way. So that's why when I was talking about the, my little secrets for your big success, not my big success, others speak. And I'll tell you, this is God's honest truth. I was the only non-French person that spoke. The only
Interesting.
non-French person. So 12 speakers, I'm number 11, and French is my second language. And after the talk, people came up to me and said, yours was the only talk we understood.
Wow.
Because the other one's like, I climbed Mount, I've only got 30% lung capacity, and I climbed Mont Blanc. It was all about me, me, me. This is what I did. This is what I did. My talk was my secrets for your success.
Fantastic.
This is for you. If you do this, you will be successful. Not, I did this, I was successful, I'm great, why don't you give it a go? No. It was aim high, start small, celebrate, and keep going. And I'll tell you another funny thing. We stayed overnight. We had a party, stayed overnight. I'm at breakfast the following morning, and one of the other speakers, a woman, came in and slapped me. And I was like, what's that for? She said, you woke me up last night. I went, what do you mean I woke you up last night? She said, yeah, I woke up. And the I had this thing in French, it's viser or commencer petit, celebrate, continue. So aim high, start small, celebrate, continue. She said she woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning going, aim high, start small, celebrate, continue. Aim high, start small, celebrate, continue. You want to tell me whether that talk resonated?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I got slapped for it. And I'm like, that worked.
Yeah, for sure.
And we were talking about recognition, and people was like, oh, you shouldn't recognize that. You're big on recognizing effort. I'm like, well, yeah, you repeat effort because it's effort that generates the success. And he said, oh, I don't believe in that. I went, I bet you do. He went, I'm telling you, I don't. I went, okay, how many kids have you got? 2. Boys or girls? Boys. Okay, when your first son stood up, took 2 steps, and plonked onto his bottom, what did you do? He went, I cheered. Really? Had he just broke the 100-meter world record? Had he run the furthest a 1-year-old had ever run in his life? He went, no. But he'd taken those first few baby steps, and I wanted to encourage him because when I do that, he's going to start walking, and one day he'll be able to run. I went, yeah. You've just explained recognizing effort and the benefit of it.
Yeah.
But that story resonates with everybody because we've all, majority of us have got kids, and every single one of us cheered when they took their first few steps.
Yeah,
2 weeks
for sure.
later, when we can't find them because they've crawled off, we're thinking, I wish they hadn't started that yet. But yeah, it's finding that way to connect things in a way that, it makes it I call it an irreversible truth. And it's once you've seen it, you can't unsee it. So you celebrated your kid's first 2 steps. So why wouldn't you do that with the team that are taking their first 2 steps?
So great. I mean, you literally, you do this better than anybody I've ever seen. I'd like to, if you don't mind, for the remaining time that we have, can you just walk us through what it was like when you did that first TED Talk? Like, what happens when you show up? What's the stage like? Because you've shown us how to get one.
Yeah.
But unless you've done it or unless you've actually attended one, of which I never have, I only have seen videos. That's kind of close up on stage.
Yeah.
What happens? Like, can you just walk us through kind of the day?
So sometimes, so I've done 2, and they were a little bit different, but both of them had very similar elements. And one of them was the day before you did a full dress rehearsal walkthrough.
Oh, okay.
Because they want to see that you have to talk for a maximum of 18 minutes. So the rule is create a 14-minute talk. That's my rule. Because when you're practicing it, you'll be like, my little secret to your big success, AMI, celebrate, start small, celebrate, continue, AMI, and you'll talk faster because you're trying to learn it. And then when you come and do it, you'll talk longer. So if during rehearsal, it takes you 18 minutes, when you get on stage, it's going to take you 22.
Interesting.
So create a 14-minute talk. And if you get through it in 14 minutes, the organizers will love you because you didn't run over. Somebody's always going to run over, and they're looking at their watches thinking, we wanted to get done by 11:30, and now it's looking like 11:45. So anything you can give back is going to, be appreciated. So so I had to go and do the talk. And then, as I said, for the one in Belfort, we did the rehearsal the night before. And for me, it's my first time I've ever done a talk in French to a French audience. And I wanted to be perfect. When I do a talk normally on like a podcast, I don't care. I know my material inside out. You can't throw me with a question. I can think on my feet. So I know the talk, but I'm kind of a little bit, I'm a little bit like Keith Richards playing Satisfaction for the 2000th time. You could do it blindfolded. But in French, so I can be a little bit loosey-goosey. But in French, I don't speak perfect French. I don't know if it's le table or la table, because to be honest, I don't care. If I tell you it's on le table and it should have been la table, you know where it is.
Right.
So, yeah. But I wanted to speak perfectly. So the only way I could speak perfectly was to learn it verbatim. And I never do that. So that was a change for me. And when I did the rehearsal, I panicked. I got to a bit and I panicked. 3 times I tried to go through it in rehearsal, and 3 times I panicked. And probably those of you that don't speak more than one language won't know this, but when you panic in your mother tongue. So when you're trying to think, what's that French word? You're asking yourself in English, and we're going, hey, we're panicking. We're doing this in English. Just so once I got stuck, that was it. I was like, and we did. I think we did 3 run-throughs. 3 times, I got stuck at the same part. And the guy was like, "Yeah, don't worry, you're brilliant. You're better than the others. You know this inside out. It won't be a problem." And I came off that going, I'm in big trouble. And we had a dinner with the man. I went, I'm not going. And I just went and sat in my room and I just read through it verbatim. I read through it over and over and over and over again. And then when I came to do the talk, there's a technique called anchoring. And what you do is you pinch your thumb and finger and you squeeze really tightly. And you remember that time when you hit a home run or you did a 50-yard run or you did something amazing and you squeeze and you imagine that. And then when you're in a situation when you're nervous, you just do that and it brings it back. So that's where I hit the home run. So I'm waiting to go on. I'm squeezing my finger and I'm remembering that time when I tackled that guy and knocked him into the middle of next week and they had to carry him off. And I was like, I walked towards the stage and the guy's going to ask me, like, just get out of my way. I'm coming and I'm just going to boom, 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 boom. I can't stop. I can't. And I just went out and I did it. And, when I did the second one, I did the same because I just wanted to be perfect. I wanted, because you are in the lights, it is a different environment. It's a much more professional setting and it is going to be videoed and it is something you're going to want to share.
Totally.
I must have read through that 20 times without the script. I learned it so I could go through it 20 times without the script. So I was absolutely perfect. And then, and confidence comes from the fact that I've got this. And
So
a
you
lot of people,
memorized a script as though you were a movie actor,
correct. I had
and
to.
then you delivered
Yeah.
your presentation.
Yeah, I had to. If it had been in English, wouldn't have bothered me because the structure's easy. It's about aim high, start small, celebrate, keep going. So I just need to. And if I miss a little bit, I know what's the next big
Right.
chunk. I can kind of just jump to it. And the thing to remember is nobody knows your talk but you. So if
Right.
you miss a bit, they didn't know that.
Okay.
Unless these are my 4 things, and like, he's only told us 3, but you're not going to forget one of the 4.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it was.
When you were on stage, what's the lighting like? Are you able to see the
No,
audience
no,
clearly, or is
no.
it black?
It's a dark room. You're on the red spot. You're in the spotlight, and you can see the front row, but you can't see the full thing. It's like you're in the theater.
Yeah.
I've
So
been a
you
lot.
didn't really know how many people were there.
I did because the only entrance was at the back, so I had to walk past 500 people.
Okay. So you knew it was full.
Yeah.
Okay. So then what happens? You give your speech. Do people clap, or is it
Oh, yeah,
thank you,
yeah,
see
yeah,
you?
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, and especially for mine, I think because it was, I was sharing them with, this is what, if you follow these simple steps, you'll be more successful. So people appreciated it. It wasn't a kind of a polite, oh, that was interesting. I don't know
Yeah.
I don't know what I would do with that talk.
Yeah.
For me, it's not about an idea that's worth sharing. It's about an idea that's worth implementing by
Yeah.
others. And if you want others to implement it, you've got to tell them how to do it.
Right.
So, it's like, here, we could have talked about, the benefit of TEDx, but, I would rather say, oh, by the way, and this is how you get one.
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
You follow that approach and you'll get one. You might have to pitch 2 or 3 people. When I did the search, I found 4 people all within about a 4-hour drive of where I lived. So I pitched all 4 of them. One of the talks
Did
was going
you
to be
get all
German.
4 of them?
No, I got the opportunity for. I got feedback from 3, but I was like, thanks, but I'm good now because I had the one for
Gotcha.
Belfort, so it was like,
Okay, good. So,
and that was the one where I was most resonant. It was a little bit of a reach.
Sure. Well, it's fascinating. Haven't had any questions in our chat rooms yet. I'm not out on all of the platforms, so there might be some there. If there are questions, Gordon, we can have you jump in. I'll tag you. We can have you jump in and answer those questions after the show.
So one of the
and
questions,
then any follow up if you want to. If you're listening and you want to talk to Gordon,
if you want the
feel free
slide,
to reach out to him. You can. Here is Gordon's LinkedIn profile.
Yep.
You can reach out to him there. If you are interested in having Gordon speak at an event of yours, he is brilliant. It will be well worth the cost. He speaks all over the world. So I'm sure you're open to go to many places. I know you're coming to Atlanta pretty quickly, right?
To Atlanta tomorrow, yeah, to speak in the snow.
you are coming in on Santa Claus's sleigh.
But I'll just go back because one of the questions that I get asked, people say to me, "Yeah, but it's easy for you to be to do TEDx because you speak on the stage all the time." And my answer to that is, now, yeah,
Sure.
but I had to do a first talk. Anybody can speak at TEDx. You just got to have that right. You just got to have a talk that's worth sharing and one that, as I say, that resonates. And that it's a lot easier than you think. And then to prepare for it. It's just a question of writing a talk. What are the 3 things you want people to remember that they can go and do? And then write a simple talk. Write it as if you were speaking to an 8-year-old, and then just go and rehearse it and rehearse it and rehearse it and rehearse it. And when you do that, you're fine.
It's brilliant advice. I'm going to share one more time. If you want to connect with Gordon on LinkedIn, here is his LinkedIn profile. And if you would like to reach out to Gordon through his website, you can find him at gordonTredgold.com. Tredgold. You told me that yesterday. So
I'm the only Gordon Tredgold in the entire world. So if you Google me, if you Google that, everything that comes up, good or bad, it's me. And a funny story was doing the branding, and I got someone to do the branding for me, and I said, we want to get some colours, and she said, I've sorted it out. She said, what are the colours? She said, red and gold. I went, when did you come up with that? She said, have you seen your name? I was like, yeah. So sometimes your branding job's a lot easier than it seems to, isn't it? Yeah. So red and gold. That's Tredgold. That's my name, and those are the colours of my brand.
Tredgold. I love it.
The simplicity.
Looks like exactly right. Well, before we wrap up, I want to leave you with this. Getting chosen requires clarity. It requires consistency. It requires showing up where the right people are paying attention. At Brand Managers, we help professionals build real visibility, real relationships, and real opportunity using thought leadership, video, podcasts like this, live streams like this, webinars, and LinkedIn outreach systems. So if you're ready to stop waiting to be discovered and start positioning yourself to be chosen, you can learn more at brandmanagers.agency or connect with me on LinkedIn. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Gordon, thank you for an absolutely brilliant start to our live podcast, Get Chosen Live. It was awesome to have you here. Thank you, everybody, for joining. And if you'd like to reach out to Brand Managers, here's our link. And we will see you next time.
And don't forget to share.
Exactly right. Thank you. Okay, we'll see you next time. Take care.